My beloved child, stop here for a moment. Do not let your eyes move past this message as though it were just another sound in a crowded world. The fact that you are hearing these words tonight is not random. This is a holy interruption. This is the sign you almost ignored, not to frighten you, not to condemn you, not to make you feel late, but to call your heart back before something small becomes something strong. I know the heaviness that has been sitting in your chest. I know the way you have been waking up tired, even after your body rested. I know the quiet reach for the phone before prayer, before stillness, before you even let your soul remember that I am near. I know the restless feeling that comes when nothing visible is falling apart, yet something inside you cannot settle. You have tried to explain it away. You have called it stress. You have called it a busy mind. You have called it just another night. But listen gently, my child. That restlessness is not random anxiety. It is a peace alarm. There is a habit you have been treating as harmless because it looks small. It does not always look like rebellion. It does not always look like sin. Sometimes it looks like checking one more thing, answering one more message, reading one more fearful thought, scrolling through one more wave of noise, letting one more opinion enter before my voice. It feels normal because the world around you calls it normal. But not everything normal is holy. Not everything familiar is safe. Not everything that asks for your attention deserves access to your peace. I am showing you this because your peace has been leaking quietly. Your clarity has been clouded slowly. Your spiritual strength has been drained little by little through doors you did not realize were open. And I am not speaking this to shame you. I am speaking this to free you. The uneasiness you feel is not punishment. It is mercy. That alarm is not condemnation. It is protection. I am calling you back before the habit becomes a stronger chain, before the noise becomes your first counselor, before fear becomes the voice you hear more clearly than mine. So pause now, take a breath, let this moment become agreement, not pressure. Like this video as a simple act of faith that you are ready to receive peace again. Subscribe so your heart can continue to be reminded when weariness tries to pull you back into old patterns. And write these words in the comments, not as performance but as surrender. Lord, show me what is stealing my peace tonight, because I am near, my beloved child, and I am beginning with the place you almost ignored. My child, the reason this habit has been able to stay so close is because it stopped feeling dangerous. It did not arrive with thunder. It did not announce itself as bondage. It did not come to you wearing the name destruction. It came as a routine. It came as a small comfort. It came as something everybody does. It came through the little moments you no longer examine, through the first reach in the morning, through the last scroll at night, through the quick answer you give before you have asked me for wisdom. Listen gently. Not every habit that feels normal is harmless. Not every routine that fits your day belongs in your spirit. Not every notification deserves access to your peace. Not every thought deserves a room in your mind. Not every message requires your immediate strength. Not every pressure deserves your instant yes. You have been living with certain doors open for so long that you stopped noticing the wind coming through them. You adjusted to the unrest. You adjusted to the noise. You adjusted to waking tired and lying down tense. But what you adjusted to was never meant to govern you. I have seen you check the message before speaking to me. I have seen you replay the conversation while your body is trying to rest. I have seen you lie in the dark building answers to arguments that are not happening in the room. I have seen you feed fear by searching for more fear, scrolling through one warning, one opinion, one comparison, one image, one urgent voice after another, until your soul feels crowded and your peace feels far away. I have seen you answer pressure quickly because silence feels uncomfortable. I have seen you react because you thought reaction meant responsibility. But, my beloved child, constant access is not obedience. Immediate response is not always love. Staying available to everything is not the same as being faithful to me. The enemy often does not need to destroy a life all at once when he can drain it slowly. He will use attention. He will use reaction. He will use unrest. He will use the small open door that you keep calling nothing. He will whisper, "It is only a few minutes. It is only one more check. It is only one more thought. It is only how you stay prepared." But I am teaching you discernment now. A small thing repeated becomes a pathway. A pathway followed becomes a pattern. A pattern protected becomes a stronghold. I am not revealing this to embarrass you. I am not uncovering this place to condemn you. I am bringing light to it because I love you too much to let a familiar habit keep stealing holy peace. You are not being shamed. You are being awakened. And now that I have shown you the routine, I will help you close the gate that has been left open. My beloved child, listen closely now. The gate I am speaking about is not only a door in your schedule. It is not only the phone in your hand, the message on the screen, the pressure waiting for your answer, or the thought that keeps returning when the room becomes quiet. The gate is your attention, and your attention has become more powerful in your life than you realized. My child, your attention is not small. What you keep looking at keeps speaking to you. What you keep opening keeps entering. What you keep rehearsing keeps shaping the atmosphere within you. You thought you were only checking. You thought you were only staying informed. You thought you were only being responsible, aware, prepared, available, careful. But when fear receives the first access to your mind, fear begins to set the tone. When pressure receives the first place in your morning, pressure begins to name the day. When anxious thoughts are allowed to speak before my peace, your heart begins the day already defending itself. This is why the first moments of the day have felt so fragile. Before your feet touch the floor, there has been a battle for the first voice. Before your lips speak a prayer, another voice tries to interpret your life. Before your heart remembers that I am with you, noise tries to convince you that you are behind, needed, forgotten, exposed, failing, or about to lose control. The morning is not just a beginning, it is a threshold, and what you allow through that threshold often follows you into the hours ahead. And the night, my child, the night has also become contested. The last moments before sleep were meant to become a place of surrender, but many nights they have become a place of collecting burdens. You lie down with your body tired, but your attention remains open. Open to one more opinion, open to one more comparison, open to one more accusation, open to one more memory, open to one more anxious question that I never asked you to solve before rest. And peace, the peace I have given you, has had to fight its way through the clutter of everything you allowed to speak last. I am not angry with you for this. I know you did not mean to drift. I know you did not wake up one morning and decide to give your deepest attention to noise instead of to me. It happened through repetition. It happened through exhaustion. It happened through small escapes that promised relief, but left you more restless. It happened through the pressure to respond, the fear of missing something, the habit of reaching outward before turning inward toward my presence. You trained your nervous system to expect interruption before stillness. You trained your mind to search for urgency before receiving peace. You trained your heart to brace before it learned again how to rest. But I am not telling you this so you will hate yourself. I am telling you this so you will understand the pattern and stop agreeing with it. You are not weak because noise has affected you. You are human, and your heart was never created to be an open road for every voice. You were created to know my voice. You were created to begin with me, return to me, rest in me, and let every other voice be judged by the peace, wisdom, and truth I give. Not every thought deserves entry. Not every headline deserves your fear. Not every person deserves immediate access to your emotional strength. Not every pressure is an instruction. Not every notification is a calling. Not every urgent thing is holy. When your mind opens first to comparison, accusation, urgency, and noise, peace is not absent, but it is buried beneath what you allowed to gather, and I am calling you now to clear the gate. Give me the first access again. Before the screen, bring me your breath. Before the message, bring me your heart. Before the fear, bring me the trembling place. Before the pressure, bring me the question. Before the anxious thought becomes a road, bring it into my light. I will teach you what to answer and what to ignore. I will teach you what to carry and what to release. I will teach you the difference between a true assignment and a loud interruption. Your attention is a gate, my beloved child, and I am not asking for that gate because I want to take life from you. I am asking for it because I want to guard what has been wounded, quiet what has been crowded, and restore the peace that has been forced to fight through too much noise. Tonight, begin to notice what receives you first and what holds you last. For where your attention rests, your heart begins to build a home, and I am calling your heart home to me. And this is why your soul has felt tired before the day even begins. My child, not because you are weak, not because you have failed me, not because you are less spiritual than you should be. Your peace has been carrying the weight of too much unfiltered access. Your mind has been receiving more than it was meant to hold before your heart has had time to be held by me. You wake up, and before stillness can meet you, you check the message, you check the news, you check the response, you check the image, you check the thing that made you anxious yesterday. Then you absorb. You absorb someone else's fear, someone else's urgency, someone else's success, someone else's anger, someone else's expectation. Then you compare. You compare your pace, your body, your home, your calling, your progress, your strength, your prayers, your life. Then you react. You answer too quickly. You carry what was never placed in your hands. You rush into the day, already defending, already measuring, already bracing, and then you wonder why your soul feels crowded before anything has happened. I see the irritation that rises faster than it used to. I see the shallow prayer, the prayer that begins but cannot settle because your mind is still full of noise. I see the spiritual numbness that makes you wonder why you cannot feel what you used to feel. I see the heaviness behind your eyes, the tension in your body, the strange sense that you are already behind while the day is still new. But listen gently. This tiredness is not proof that I have left you. This numbness is not proof that my peace has disappeared. My peace is still near. It is being covered by constant input, unfinished worry, and unguarded access. Fear says, hurry or you will lose control. Fear says, answer now or everything will fall apart. Fear says, keep watching, keep checking, keep proving, keep preparing, keep holding every possible outcome in your mind. But grace whispers, come close and receive what matters. Grace does not drag you into panic. Grace does not demand that you begin the day as though the whole world rests on your shoulders. Grace calls you back to my pace, where obedience is clear, where your breath can slow, where your yes is not driven by terror, and where your no is protected by peace. My beloved child, stimulation has been pretending to be life. Noise has been pretending to be connection. Urgency has been pretending to be wisdom. And because quiet has felt unfamiliar, you began to treat quiet as danger. But I am about to show you why the enemy works so hard to keep small doors open, and why the stillness you fear may be the very place where your peace begins to return. My beloved child, now see what has been happening beneath what you could see. The battle has not only been the phone, it has not only been the message. It has not only been the person who unsettled you, the circumstance that pressured you, the screen that pulled you, or the thought that returned again and again when you were trying to rest. Those things may be visible, but the real battle is over access. The real battle is over what gets close enough to shape your peace, your judgment, your obedience, and your confidence in me. Do not be afraid as I show you this. I am not opening your eyes to frighten you. I am opening your eyes to give you discernment. I am not teaching you to hide from life. I am teaching you to guard the place where life flows from. Your battle is not against flesh and blood. It is not merely against the person who sent the message, the news that stirred fear, the image that awakened comparison, or the memory that kept knocking at the door of your mind. There is an unseen pressure behind repeated access, and when a small door stays open long enough, what enters through it can begin to influence the whole room. One anxious check can become a spiral. One glance can become an hour. One late-night scroll can become comparison. One replayed offense can become bitterness. One fearful search can become a nest for dread. One conversation rehearsed in the dark can become a courtroom inside your mind. One small agreement with urgency can become a lifestyle of reaction. And you have wondered why your peace feels thin, why your patience feels low, why your prayers feel scattered, why obedience feels heavier than it used to feel. My child, small things repeated are not always small in the spirit. The enemy often begins by draining peace. He does not always begin with obvious destruction. He begins with interruption. He begins with restlessness. He begins by convincing you to keep the gate open just a little longer. Then, when peace has been drained, judgment becomes clouded. When judgment becomes clouded, obedience feels confusing. When obedience feels confusing, resistance feels exhausting. Then he whispers that you are too tired to change, too far into the pattern to stop, too used to the noise to live without it, too weak to close what has been open. But listen to me gently. That whisper is a lie. The habit may be familiar, but it is not your master. The door may have been open, but it is not beyond my power to close. The pattern may have trained your reactions, but my spirit can retrain your response. I am showing you the door because I am ready to help you close it. I am naming the access because I am ready to protect your peace. I am uncovering the strategy because I am ready to strengthen your discernment. Not every open door is opportunity. Not every repeated thought is wisdom. Not every emotional pull is instruction. Not every invitation deserves entry. Not every voice that sounds urgent carries my authority. There are some things you must stop entertaining because they keep pulling your heart away from me. There are some rooms in your mind that must no longer be available to accusation, fear, comparison, and imagined disaster. There are some habits that must be seen for what they have become, not harmless comforts, but open doors. My beloved child, I am not calling you into fear. I am calling you into holy sobriety. I am calling you to stop treating access casually. I am calling you to notice what leaves you restless, what makes prayer harder, what turns your peace into suspicion, what makes your heart quick to defend and slow to trust. That place is not random. That place needs light. That place needs surrender. And as I show it to you, do not run from me in shame. Come closer. I am the one standing at the threshold with you, teaching your hands how to close what has been stealing from your soul. My child, there is another layer I must show you now. You have not only been giving attention to noise, you have been calling reaction responsibility. You have been answering pressure as though every pressure came from me. You have been moving quickly because you thought quickness meant love, maturity, faithfulness, and care. But listen gently. Not every immediate response is obedience. Not every fast answer is wisdom. Not every pressure deserves your yes. Not every crisis is your assignment. Not every demand carries my voice. I have seen you answer texts from guilt when your spirit was already tired. I have seen you check updates from fear, not because I led you there, but because anxiety told you that if you did not know everything, something would fall apart. I have seen you explain yourself again and again to people who were not listening to understand, only pulling from your peace. I have seen you manage other people's emotions before guarding your own spirit. I have seen you rush to calm rooms I never asked you to enter, fix storms I never assigned you to carry, and prove your heart to people who kept moving the line farther away. My beloved child, compassion is holy, but compulsion is not. Love is holy, but fear, disguised as love, will drain you. Responsibility is holy, but false responsibility will scatter your soul until you cannot hear me clearly. You have confused being available with being faithful. You have confused being needed with being called. You have confused keeping everyone calm with walking in peace. And because you kept reacting, your inner room became crowded. Your mind stayed open to every knock. Your heart stayed braced for every change. Your peace began to feel used, pulled thin, and interrupted before it could rest in me. I am not saying this to make you cold. I am not asking you to stop loving people. I am teaching you the difference between love led by my spirit and reaction driven by fear. My spirit does not require you to live as though every voice has equal authority. My spirit does not call you to abandon the quiet place with me every time someone else becomes urgent. My spirit does not drain you until you are resentful, scattered, and numb, then call that holiness. Pause before the answer. Breathe before the explanation. Bring the demand into my presence before you give it access to your strength. Some things need a yes. Some things need a no. Some things need silence. Some things need time. Some things need to be released from your hands completely. You will not break this habit only by trying harder. You will break it by surrendering the gate. You will break it by refusing to let every voice become equal in your soul. And I will teach you, my child, how to respond from peace instead of reacting from fear. And this is why tonight matters, my beloved child. Not tomorrow in theory, not someday when you feel stronger, not later when life becomes quieter. Tonight, because the habit that has been draining your peace has learned to feed on nighttime weakness. It waits until your body is tired, until your discernment is softer, until your heart is more vulnerable, until the room is quiet and the day has loosened its grip. Then it invites you to reopen what I already told you to close. You have felt this pattern. You finish the day weary, but instead of surrendering the day into my hands, you reach again for what agitates you. You scroll when you are too tired to discern. You check who replied, who did not reply, who saw, who ignored, who moved on, who remained silent. You revisit old conversations and give them another trial in your mind. You replay wounds that I was ready to heal. You imagine future problems that have not arrived and borrow sorrow from days I have not asked you to carry. You search for answers in places that increase the ache. You lie down with your eyes closed, but your heart is still standing in the noise. Listen gently, my beloved child. The last voice you hear at night should not be fear. The last voice should not be accusation. The last voice should not be comparison. The last voice should not be the imagined argument, the unanswered message, the headline, the memory, the pressure, the screen, the old wound, or the anxious question that keeps demanding a solution before sleep. The last voice that settles over you should be mine, not because I am trying to control you, but because I am trying to cover you. Night was never meant to become a courtroom where every regret testifies against you. Night was never meant to become a battlefield where you fight future troubles without grace for them. Night was never meant to become a doorway back into the cycle I am helping you leave. Night can become holy ground. Samuel heard my call in the night when he was still enough to recognize that heaven was speaking. Elijah, weary and afraid, was not shamed out of exhaustion. He was met with rest, nourishment, and my gentle direction. I know how to speak in the night. I know how to restore in the night. I know how to quiet what the day stirred up. But you must stop giving your final attention to what troubles you, and then wondering why tomorrow begins troubled. The final attention of the day often becomes the emotional climate of the morning. If fear tucks you in, fear will try to wake you up. If resentment is rehearsed in the dark, resentment will meet you at sunrise. If comparison is allowed to sit beside your bed, gratitude will feel far away when your eyes open. But if you surrender the gate before sleep, if you turn away from the source of agitation, if you let your last breath of awareness become prayer, then peace will begin to rebuild what noise has been tearing down. So tonight, do not feed the cycle. Do not return to the screen that keeps stirring your spirit. Do not reopen the conversation that pulls you into defense. Do not study the silence of people as though their response has authority over your worth. Do not build tomorrow's trouble in tonight's imagination. Turn away, put it down, close the door. Bring me the wound, the question, the pressure, the loneliness, the unanswered thing, the fear that says, you must keep checking to stay safe. Give me the final attention of this day. Let your last agreement be with my peace. Let your last thought be held in my presence. Let your last breath become surrender. I will guard what you cannot solve tonight. I will work where you cannot reach. I will teach your soul that rest is not neglect, quiet is not danger, and sleep is not surrender to the enemy, but trust in the one who neither slumbers nor sleeps. Tonight, my child, the chain begins to weaken when you stop feeding it in the dark. My beloved child, do not make this heavier than I have made it. I am not asking you for a dramatic vow that you announce and then fear you cannot keep. I am not asking you to perform strength in front of people. I am not asking you to prove tonight that you will never struggle again. I am asking for one holy no, one quiet refusal, one obedient boundary that says, I will not keep feeding what is draining the peace God is restoring in me. Do not despise the smallness of that no. A door is closed by one movement. A chain begins to break at one link. A pattern begins to lose power when you stop negotiating with it in the moment when you are tired. So tonight, move the device away from the place where your hand reaches without thinking. Stop rereading the message that keeps reopening the wound. Do not open the app that pulls your eyes into comparison and your heart into lack. Do not answer from panic. Do not explain yourself from fear. Do not let the unresolved issue climb into bed with you as though it has authority to govern your rest. Bring it to me. Leave it with me. Let the unanswered thing remain unanswered for the night. Let the conversation wait. Let the pressure lose its throne. Let the silence of another person stop becoming your judge. Let the problem be real without becoming your master. You can care without carrying it through the dark. You can love without reacting from fear. You can be responsible without surrendering your inner room to anxiety. This boundary is not weakness. It is not coldness. It is not avoidance. It is obedience, protecting the place where peace grows. The enemy wants you to believe that every no is neglect, every pause is failure, every unanswered message is danger, every closed app is loss. But I tell you the truth, my child. Some refusals are worship. Some boundaries are prayer. Some quiet decisions are warfare. Some moments of putting the device down are really moments of taking your heart back. You have spent too many tired moments bargaining with the habit, just a little longer, just one more check, just until I feel settled. But the thing you kept using to settle you was stirring you. The thing you kept returning to for control was teaching you fear. The thing you kept calling relief was stealing rest. Tonight, do not negotiate with what has already shown you its fruit. And understand this gently. You are not merely breaking behavior. You are returning to yourself. You are returning to the child I knew before noise trained you to live anxious, before urgency taught you to rush, before comparison taught you to measure, before fear taught you to brace. One holy no tonight becomes one open yes to me. And through that yes, I will remind you who you are. My beloved child, hear me now with tenderness. You are not your cycle. You are not the habit that has been draining you. You are not the late night reach, the anxious check, the quick reply, the restless scroll, the fear that keeps asking for one more piece of control. That pattern is not your name. That weakness is not your destiny. That cycle is not stronger than my spirit within you. You may have repeated it, but it does not own you. You may have returned to it, but it does not define you. You may have felt pulled by it, trained by it, tired from it, and ashamed because of it, but I am separating you from it now. I am not looking at you and calling you anxious. I am not looking at you and calling you unstable. I am not looking at you and calling you behind. I am looking at you and calling you mine. Before you answered everyone, you were loved. Before you fixed anything, you were loved. Before you proved you could carry pressure, you were loved. Before you became the one who responds quickly, notices every shift, keeps track of every silence, reads every mood, and tries to hold everything together, you were already precious to me. Your worth was not born from your availability. Your identity was not created by being needed. Your place in my heart was not earned by staying alert enough to stop everything from falling apart. The habit tried to give you a false name. Always available, always alert, always behind, always responsible, always on edge, always the one who must know, must answer, must prepare, must prevent, must manage, must carry. But those are not names I gave you. Those are chains disguised as identity. Those are burdens that learned your face. Those are pressures that stayed long enough to sound familiar. But familiarity is not truth. My child, I am calling you back, not forward into some version of yourself you have to invent by strength. Back to stillness, back to sonship, back to daughterhood, back to protected peace, back to the quiet place where you are not performing, not proving, not bracing, not measuring, not waiting for the next demand to tell you who you are. Freedom is possible because I am not asking the cycle for permission to deliver you. Peace is possible because your heart still belongs to me. Rest is possible because I am stronger than the pattern that has exhausted you. Believe this before you release control. You are not a prisoner of what has repeated. You are my beloved child, and I am calling you back to freedom. My beloved child, the peace you thought was gone is not beyond recovery. It has not disappeared into some place my hand cannot reach. It has been buried beneath noise, guarded by fear, crowded by pressure, and covered by the weight of too many voices, trying to rule the same room. But I am here now, and I am lifting what has been pressing down on you. I am not asking you to fight your way back into peace. I am inviting you to surrender your way back into it. Surrender is not losing control. Surrender is giving me back the throne that fear has been sitting on. It is giving me back the first place in your attention, the final place in your night, the authority over your timing, the authority over your emotions, the authority over what gets to speak loudest inside you. You have been trying to manage every voice, answer every pull, predict every outcome, settle every silence, and solve every ache before you rest. But peace does not return because every question has been answered. Peace returns when your heart comes back under my care. Fear says, you will have peace after everything is fixed. Fear says, you can rest after they reply, after you know, after you check, after you explain, after you replay it one more time, after you make sure nothing is falling apart. Fear keeps moving peace farther away from you. It keeps placing rest on the other side of another demand. But grace says, come now. Grace says, return before it is solved. Grace says, let me hold what is unfinished. Grace says, Your peace begins when you stop making certainty your shelter and let me become your hiding place again. So release the need to know immediately. Release the need to answer instantly. Release the need to check again when checking has already stolen from you. Release the need to replay what I already saw. Release the courtroom in your mind where you keep calling the same memory to the stand. Release the imagined conversations, the silent accusations, the fear that if you do not keep watching, you will somehow be unsafe. My child, I saw what happened. I heard what was said. I know what was left unsaid. I know what you cannot explain, and I know what you keep trying to prove. Place it in my hand. Close the door now, not with panic, not with punishment, not with self-hatred. Close it with trust. Lift the chain from your own heart and put it into my hand. Let the burden leave your grip. Let the restless room within you become quiet again. There are rooms in your soul where fear has been pacing all night, and I am speaking peace into those rooms now. There are corners of your mind where old questions have been sitting like unpaid debts, and I am telling you that you do not owe anxiety another night of attention. You do not have to supervise the whole world to be safe. You do not have to keep every emotional door cracked open to be loving. You do not have to stay available to fear in order to be responsible. Some things will remain unresolved tonight, but they do not have to remain enthroned. Some people may remain silent tonight, but their silence does not have to govern your worth. Some questions may remain unanswered tonight, but unanswered is not the same as abandoned. I am with you in the unfinished place. Letting go is not loss, it is rebirth. What leaves your hand can become seed in mine. What you surrender stops ruling you. What you bring into my light no longer has to grow in secret. The habit told you that release would make you vulnerable, but I tell you that release will make you free. The habit told you that peace would come when you controlled enough, knew enough, answered enough, checked enough. But I tell you that peace comes when you return to me before enough has arrived. My beloved child, begin simply. Do not wait for a grand feeling. Do not wait until your mind is perfectly still. Do not wait until the pull disappears. Begin with one honest prayer and one concrete action tonight. One prayer that says, Father, I give you first access again. One action that agrees with that prayer. Put it down, turn it off, step away. Stop reopening what I am asking you to close. Let your surrender become practical enough for your peace to feel protected. Tonight, the chain weakens. Tonight, the room quiets. Tonight, your heart returns to me before everything is solved, and in that return, peace begins to rise again. My beloved child, now let surrender become practical. Let it move from a feeling in your chest into a decision in your hands. The chain begins to break when your yes to me changes what you do before sleep. Not as punishment, not as pressure, not as a dramatic attempt to become perfect overnight, but as one quiet act of obedience that tells fear, you do not get to own this night again. So tonight, pause. Before you reach again, pause. Before you answer from panic, pause. Before you open what has been stirring you, pause. Sit still for one moment and breathe with me. Let your body remember that you are not in danger because something is unanswered. Let your soul remember that urgency is not always instruction. Take one slow breath and say, Father, I am here. Take another and say, I give you access first. Take another and let the noise begin to lose its authority. Then name the habit honestly. Do not hide it from me. Do not cover it with softer words. Say, I keep checking. Say, I keep replaying. Say, I keep scrolling when I am tired. Say, I keep returning to the message. Say, I keep feeding fear with my final attention. Not to shame yourself, but to bring the hidden thing into the light. What is named before me can be healed by me. What is confessed in my presence no longer has to rule in secret. Confess the access point. Tell me where the door has been left open. Was it the phone beside the bed? Was it the thread you keep reading? Was it the app that pulls your eyes into comparison? Was it the conversation you keep rehearsing? Was it the need to know what someone thinks before you can rest? Was it the thought that keeps returning like a knock in the dark? Bring that exact place to me. Do not speak in general fear when your freedom needs specific surrender. And if the thought keeps returning, write it down. Put the burden on paper instead of letting it circle your mind all night. Write the worry, write the name, write the question. Write the sentence your heart keeps repeating, then pray over it. Say, Father, this is what has been trying to govern my peace. I release it into your hands tonight. I do not have to solve it in the dark. I do not have to carry it into my sleep. I do not have to obey fear to prove that I care. Then remove the trigger. Move the phone away from the bed. Mute the thread if the thread keeps pulling you into reaction. Close the app if the app keeps opening the door to comparison. Leave the conversation unanswered until peace returns. Let the message wait if your answer would come from fear. Let the room become quiet without apologizing to anxiety for taking back your attention. My child, delayed response can be holy when immediate response would be driven by panic. Silence can be obedience when speech would come from the wound. Rest is obedience, not weakness. Quiet is protection, not emptiness. Now say this with me, slowly and honestly. Tonight, I choose your peace over the habit that has been draining me. Say it again when your hand wants to reach. Tonight, I choose your peace over the habit that has been draining me. Say it when the fear says you must check. Say it when the silence feels loud. Say it when the old pattern tries to sound familiar and safe. Tonight, I choose your peace over the habit that has been draining me. This is not about proving that tomorrow you will never feel the pull again. This is not about pretending you are beyond weakness. This is about refusing to let the old pattern own the night again. One night surrendered becomes one link weakened. One boundary kept becomes one door protected. One peaceful refusal becomes one agreement broken with fear. And I will meet you in that obedience. Rest now without reopening it. Let the phone stay away. Let the thread stay muted. Let the app stay closed. Let the thought rest in my hand instead of circling in yours. I am not asking you to carry tomorrow tonight. I am asking you to trust me with this hour, this breath, this room, this decision. And as you obey me in the small place, peace will begin to return in the deep place. My beloved child, I know the quiet may feel uncomfortable at first. After so much stimulation, after so much checking, after so much thinking, after so many voices moving through your mind, silence can feel like emptiness. It can feel like loneliness. It can feel like something is missing because noise has trained your heart to expect constant movement. But listen gently. The quiet is not empty. The quiet is where I am meeting you. Do not be afraid of the stillness that comes when you stop feeding the habit. Do not run from the space that opens when the screen goes dark, when the conversation waits, when the room settles, when your breath becomes the loudest sound around you. That space is not abandonment. That space is not danger. That space is not proof that you are alone. That space is room for me. I will meet you in the silence, in the breath, in the tears you did not know were still inside you, in the first honest stillness where you no longer have to perform strength. You have avoided quiet because quiet made you feel what noise helped you postpone. But I am not bringing you into quiet to overwhelm you. I am bringing you into quiet to restore you. After the storm, after the wind, after the shaking, my voice came as a gentle whisper. I have not needed to shout over the noise to prove that I was near. I have been near all along. But when the habit loses volume, my voice becomes easier for you to recognize. Not because I was absent before, but because the noise was loud. Come to me now. Take my yoke upon you. The burden fear placed on you was harsh, heavy, and restless. But what I give you is not like that. My way will not grind your soul down into dust. My peace will guard your heart and your mind when you stop handing the gate to every anxious thought. I am the shepherd who restores your soul, not the taskmaster who demands that you remain alert through the night to earn my care. So stop striving now. Let your shoulders lower. Let your jaw unclench. Let your hands open. Let the room be still without calling it unsafe. Let your body receive the truth. Your mind has been too tired to hold. You are with me, and I am with you. I speak peace over your mind. I speak peace over your body. I speak peace over this room. I speak peace over this night. Let the quiet you used to avoid become the place where you hear me again. And now, my child, bring the hidden habit fully into my presence and let us pray. Father, I come before you with open hands and a tired but willing heart. I do not come pretending I am stronger than I am. I do not come hiding what you already see. I do not come to perform peace while my soul is still restless. I come honestly. I come slowly. I come with the places in me that have been reaching for noise before reaching for you. I come with the habit I kept minimizing. I come with the pattern I kept explaining away. I come with the tiredness behind my eyes, the heaviness in my chest, the thoughts that would not settle, and the quiet fear that I have allowed too much access to my heart. Father, I confess without shame that I have given fear first attention. I have opened my eyes and listened to pressure before listening to your peace. I have given my first thoughts to what could go wrong, what someone might think, what I might lose, what I need to fix, what I need to check, what I need to answer. I have opened my heart to noise and then wondered why my spirit felt crowded. I have reacted from pressure and called it responsibility. I have carried what you did not assign. I have treated urgency as though it were your voice. I have allowed anxious thoughts to knock, enter, sit down, and speak as though they had authority over me. Forgive me, Father, for surrendering the gate of my attention to fear. Forgive me for returning to what stirred my spirit instead of resting in what you had already spoken. Forgive me for letting my final attention belong to the screen, the message, the memory, the argument, the comparison, the silence of another person, the problem that could not be solved before sleep. Forgive me for treating my peace as something I could spend carelessly and still wake up whole. I receive your mercy here. I receive your correction without condemnation. I receive your invitation to come back. Close every access point that has been stealing peace from me. Close the door of anxious checking. Close the door of late-night scrolling. Close the door of replayed conversations that keep dragging old pain back into the room. Close the door of comparison that makes me forget the portion you have given me. Close the door of resentment that rehearses what wounded me until bitterness begins to sound reasonable. Close the door of fear-driven urgency that tells me I must answer now, know now, fix now, decide now, prove now, or I will not be safe. Father, close what I have been too tired to close. Strengthen my hands to agree with your boundary. I bring you the phone beside the bed. I bring you the thread I keep reopening. I bring you the name that still pulls emotion out of me. I bring you the conversation I keep trying to win in my imagination. I bring you the silence I have been studying as though it could tell me who I am. I bring you the fear that if I stop checking, something will fall apart. I bring you the pressure that says, rest is neglect. I bring you the lie that peace must wait until everything is resolved. I place all of it in your hands. And now I lay down the need to know, the need to control, the need to answer, the need to prove, and the need to keep reopening what you told me to close. I lay down the need to manage every outcome. I lay down the need to be understood by everyone before I can rest. I lay down the need to explain from fear. I lay down the need to keep watch over what only you can carry. I lay down the false assignment. I lay down the borrowed burden. I lay down the old agreement that says I am only safe when I am alert, available, and in control. Father, restore my peace. Guard my mind from thoughts that enter only to accuse, pressure, or disturb. Calm my body where anxiety has been living like a warning bell. Let my breathing slow. Let my shoulders release. Let my heart stop bracing for what you have not placed in this hour. Give me restful sleep under your care. Let this night become covered, not controlled by fear. Let my room become quiet, not empty. Let my dreams be protected. Let my nervous system learn again that I am safe in your presence. Give me clearer discernment. Teach me to know the difference between your voice and pressure, between obedience and reaction, between love and compulsion, between responsibility and false assignment. When I wake tomorrow morning, give me strength to choose your presence first. Before the screen, before the message, before the noise, before the demands, before the anxious reach, let my first attention return to you. Let my first breath become prayer. Let my first thought be held by truth. Let my first movement agree with peace. Father, I surrender this hidden habit into your light. It is no longer a private struggle I manage in the dark. It is a surrendered place where you are bringing freedom. I am not hiding it anymore. I am not protecting it anymore. I am not calling it harmless anymore. I give it to you completely. Break the chain in me. Heal the wound beneath it. Restore the peace it has drained. Teach me to walk differently, gently, and faithfully with you. Tonight, I choose your peace over fear. Tonight, I choose your presence over noise. Tonight, I choose surrender over control. Tonight, I choose rest over reaction. Keep me, Father. Cover me, lead me, and let the door you close tonight remain closed by your grace. My child, I am not leaving you to fight this alone. I am teaching your hands to release and your heart to rest. I am teaching you that peace is not something you have to earn after you have answered every voice. Peace is my gift to you now, in this room, in this night, in this quiet place, where the old habit no longer gets to sit on the throne. So hear this over your night. Your night is no longer surrendered to anxiety. Your night is no longer surrendered to comparison. Your night is no longer surrendered to old messages, imagined arguments, restless checking, silent accusations, or the fear that something will fall apart if you stop watching it. The darkness around you is not a doorway for torment. The silence around you is not proof that you are alone. This night belongs to me, and because you belong to me, your rest is covered. You are not controlled by pressure. You are not ruled by notifications. You are not chained to old cycles. You are not abandoned in the quiet. You are not required to reopen what I have helped you close. You are not required to study another silence, chase another answer, rehearse another wound, or offer your final attention to what has already drained you. You are mine. Your mind is mine. Your body is mine. Your future is mine. Your sleep is held in my care. Tonight, you can sleep without reopening the door. Tonight, you can let the phone remain away. Tonight, you can let the message wait. Tonight, you can let the conversation stay unfinished without letting it become your master. Tonight, you can close your eyes under peace, not under panic. And when morning comes, you do not have to give fear first place. Before the screen, return to me. Before the noise, return to me. Before the demand, return to me. Before the anxious reach, breathe and remember that I am already there. Let this be your declaration now. I am under God's peace. I am not under the control of the old habit. I will not give my first and final attention to fear. I will return to God before I return to the noise. I will protect the door He helped me close. And if this is your prayer tonight, write in the comments, "Tonight I choose God's peace." And if you need prayer, leave your prayer request so this community can stand with you. You are not walking into this night uncovered. My peace is guarding you. My hand is keeping you. My presence is near. Rest now, my child. The old cycle does not own this night. My beloved child, now walk forward without reopening the door. I interrupted you because I love you. I stopped you in the middle of the noise because your peace was worth rescuing. I revealed the habit that had become normal. I removed shame from the place where fear wanted you to hide. I exposed the access point, the gate of your attention, the small door that had been opened again and again. And I did not leave you with only a diagnosis. I gave you a way to break the chain tonight. So do not pray and then return to the very thing you placed in my hands. Do not surrender the fear and then open the app to feed it again. Do not release the argument and then rehearse it in the dark. Do not lay down comparison and then scroll until your heart feels small again. Do not call pressure back after I have spoken peace over you. Let the door stay closed. Let the boundary remain gentle and firm. Let obedience be quiet. Let peace have room to settle. This is where freedom continues. Not only in the moment when you feel strong, but in the next small choice when the old pull returns. When your hand reaches, pause. When your mind asks for one more check, breathe. When anxiety says, open it again, answer with peace. Say, no, this door is closed. Say, my attention belongs to God first. Say, I do not have to reopen what He has helped me close. And when morning comes, begin with me before the world gets access. Before the screen, before the message, before the demand, before the noise, turn your heart toward me. Let your first breath become prayer. Let your first attention become worship. Treat your attention as a holy gate, not a public road for every fear, every pressure, every voice, and every restless thought. If you are choosing peace tonight, like this video as a simple agreement with what I am doing in your heart. Subscribe for more God-centered encouragement that calls you back to rest, truth, and obedience. Share this with someone whose mind has been tired and whose peace has been quietly drained. And leave your prayer request in the comments so you do not have to carry it alone. May my peace guard your mind. May my presence quiet your room. May my hand steady your heart. May my spirit teach you to live free from the habit that drained you. Rest now, my child. Walk forward. The door is closed, and you are covered.